ahead and check. Alright, I also need to do this as well. Well, it says we're live, but it's also showing we're waiting a bit for me, so we will do that.
Indeed, we are live.
Good, that's good to hear. And let me just confirm it on my end. Yep, awesome. Alright, hello everyone, Ace here. Welcome to the live stream. I'm joined today with returning guest Nathan X2000.
Thank you again for having me on.
Thank you again for being on. And today we are back with some more Terror of Godzilla, which, for those who don't know, is a comic book adaptation of Return of Godzilla from 1984. AKA, well, I would say AKA Godzilla 1985, but the thing is, the North American 1985 release changed the plot so much that it's not really... I'm not really sure it's fair to say that it's quite the same movie, even though it is and it isn't, you know?
Yeah.
I assume you've seen enough of both to know the difference?
A little bit, yeah.
Let me get this post notifying everyone that the stream is up. So anyways,
I think I was gonna answer Uros in the chat saying also, hey Nathan, today you are the scaly one. Ace, you do know in the description of your video, apparently Uros is supposed to be narrating this, not me.
Oh, I screwed up that. Then I will fix it. Whoops. Sorry about that.
That's fine.
It would appear that Urus is with us in spirit on this one.
Oh, he definitely is.
Alright, let me get that fixed. Where is it?
You're also saying that YouTube's new layout is like absolutely shit, but have YouTube got a new layout? Mine seems fine, or mine seems the same.
Alright. Give me a moment, guys. I'll be right back. I just need to edit that to fix it real quick. Actually, wait. I think I can do it right here. Yeah. Here we go. That should do. Alright, now the stream is fixed. Or it should be. I'll just confirm it on my end real quick. But yeah, this is what we'll be watching.
Hang on. So does YouTube have a new layout on mobile?
It seems like YouTube has a layout, newer layout. The thing is, I've seen it before, like a few weeks ago, but then it suddenly went away, and now it's back again. But yeah, I've seen the whole new layout on some of my videos. Where it says, fuck, YouTube's new layout is shit. I need to see if there's anything to refer to back also. Ooh, interesting Godzilla, and holy fucking Stein, I got hit by inertia. Sage says, I'm somehow functioning on mobile, so I understand your pain. This keyboard sucks. Comments are sprawling on the right, while the videos are large where the comment layout used to be. Yep, yeah, that's the layout I've been seeing. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into this, shall we? Terror of Godzilla, written and illustrated by Kazuhisa Iwata. Notice that there is exactly one person for both the artwork and the actual writing, unless you want to do the English version. So that would put it up to 3, 4 if you cover this. And it does not look like it even has... Even if you wanted to include the... Okay, so if you included the editor, that would be 6 people in total. But most of that is through the editing of the English version. And so, yeah, only really 5 people to do the translations and 1 person to actually write the comic. And do the editing.
Yeah, and not like 6 people on the fucking writing team.
Mm-hmm.
Or the editing team, like the editor, the mega editor, senior editor, editor-in-chief.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Oh, got that. Okay, let's go ahead and continue. Isn't the Super Rex ready yet?
Is that the same person, or is that me?
I'm going to assume that it's a different person, maybe. Or no, I'm going to... Actually, no, I'll pretend it's the same. The Defense Force alone is no match for the monster.
The Super X is almost ready for takeoff, sir.
Prime Minister, we've received an emergency communique from the Russians.
Oh shit, no.
I've already spoken with our special envoy. This message was direct from the Kremlin, sir. They say there's been an accident.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
They say there's been an accident. A missile fell like a mile short of Poland, and now they're looking at them funny.
A nuclear warhead aimed at Godzilla was accidentally fired from an orbiting launch platform. They say it will strike Tokyo in 30 minutes. Ugh.
An armed satellite? Nuclear weapons in space? Why wasn't it detected before this?
What kind of accident could cause it to fire at Tokyo? They said the fire control system for the satellite was on board a Russian freighter moored in Tokyo Bay. When Godzilla destroyed the ship, the missile activated itself.
What could they have been thinking when they brought that system into the bay?
Can't they just detonate the warhead in space before it enters the atmosphere? The self-destruct to their missile has failed, and they saw none of their other missiles. And they say none of their other missiles can intercept it in time.
How convenient for the plot.
To be fair, this is on par with how the Russians' space missions were known to go from time to time.
Oh yeah. What can we do? There's no time to evacuate the city.
We can't give up. We'll use the time we have. Order the people into the subway stations and tunnels, the underground shopping malls, do the best you can. And get me the President of the United States. Maybe they can shoot down that missile.
Oh my god, that is so 90s. And get me the President of the United States on the line.
Ura says the self-destruct has failed. The most Russian thing ever said. One of the most important parts of a nuke just does not work. I'm kind of also reminded of something from Japan during World War II, specifically those manned torpedoes, and stories with regards to some of those things.
Oh yeah, I forgot about them.
Apparently they were so unreliable that they had to give the crews a self-destruct button in case anything went wrong.
In case the thing doesn't go boom, you go boom. And when you go boom, the thing goes boom.
It was mainly because a lot of them, I guess, just failed when they were launched. And what's interesting is the early versions apparently did actually have an escape, a way for the torpedo operator to escape. But they eventually got rid of that because nobody was using the escape option.
Yes. It's almost like there's something in the kamikaze of their name that would give that away.
But yeah, like I said, so apparently a lot of them would fail and they would start slowly sinking to the bottom. So that's why they had that there as a
Yeah.
option. Yeah, but that I know it's a little bit of a tangent, but I just got reminded of that a little bit.
Now you're like a world war, not on like hidden weapons and like not as known weapons. It's kind of fascinating.
Professor Hayashida's Institute. Goro, I've decided. I want to return Godzilla to where he came from.
To the Izu Islands, Professor Hayashida?
Mr. Okumura, see if you can reach a geologist. Dr. Minami.
A geologist at a time like this?
And. Yes, Dr. Minami. Then you agree my plan will work. Good. I'll send Okumura with the details. I leave it up to you to put it into action. Elsewhere. We have the missile on the scope, Prime Minister. It will begin a descent over Sumatra, and unless something is done to stop it, it will explode 15 minutes later, in the heart of Tokyo. The U.S. has a submarine in the Indian Ocean tracking the missile now. They believe their ABM can take out the Russian warhead before it strikes. ABM is anti-ballistic missile.
Then there's hope.
Technically, this is a minor change from the movie, because in the movie we clearly see they use a on-land platform to launch the missile, and also it's technically the Americans also used their own nuke to basically fly up and hit the Russian nuke to set it off that way in the original movie, but a minor lore change, not really much of a difference.
Can Ace coming in that like pointing his glasses up like well actually in the movie
Yes,
they didn't do it like this.
I know. Ura says, I think that the torpedo failing and sinking would be a good reason to use the escape feature, but what do I know? But Uros, if you use the escape feature, then you couldn't kamikaze the bottom of the ocean. I'm going to hell for that one, but I don't care. Ura says, nuke on nuke violence must be stopped.
Nuke lives matter.
Why doesn't the media report more often on nuke violence?
I don't know. Maybe it's because, despite only making up 13% of the population,
God damn it!
they bomb 50% of the countries. Okay.
New user says hello from Russia. Hello there. I unfortunately cannot really read your name, but that's okay. I hope you are enjoying the stream, and let's go ahead and continue on with the comic.
Do you want me to be the broadcast?
Sure.
Attention! This is the emergency broadcast system. According to a statement just released by the government's emergency headquarters, a Russian missile aimed at Godzilla has been launched by mistake. Why would you announce that by mistake? As if it's like a casual that goes, oopsies, we launched a nuke and now it's going to wipe everyone out. I'm sorry.
Well, I guess they're trying to avoid a world war.
Yeah, true. The government is doing everything in its power to stop the missile, but there remains the likelihood that the missile could strike Tokyo. All citizens are urged to evacuate the area or seek shelter at once. Repeat, there is no time to get. shelter or evacuate the area at once. Follow the instructions of police and military authorities. The stations and tunnels of the Marunouchi and Shinjuku subway lines have been designated as emergency shelters.
Alright. Well, this is obviously not going to cause a panic.
Yeah. Do you reckon all the Japanese people are looking around and going, fucking not again? I
Can
just
we
did this
go
last
30
year.
years without another one hitting us? You know there's got to be some poor sap that had to survive both of them and was there and now is in Tokyo going, God fucking damn it.
He's like punching the table.
Or it says, I knew Nathan would go this route. Racismus, very racismus. Nathan's credit score has gone into negatives. I am so proud. Siege says, everyone get the fuck out.
I didn't think I did a racist accent. I could have gone a lot more samurai with it.
Yeah. The U.S. missile is ready for launch, Prime Minister. Their anticipated intercept point is 100 miles above Tokyo.
Sir, we've just received word from Professor Hayashida. He has a plan.
Beep, beep, beep. That's his plan? To make Mount Mihara on Oshima Island erupt?
Our geologists agree. It would take very little pressure to start an eruption. It's technically feasible. He wants to lead Godzilla to the crater of Mount Mihara and then explode. The whole thing is insane. Leave Godzilla to the military. They're the experts.
Do 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 do.
Imagine that scene from like the BFG where he goes, "Fire the missile." What if you just fired the missile towards the giant? And where's the giant, Hansley? I concur, Prime Minister. The Super X can manage the monster.
I expect the military to do their best to destroy Godzilla, but as a contingency, have Professor Hayashida proceed with his plan. In the meantime, I want all government agencies to do whatever they can to ensure the safety of the people and Tokyo, of the people of Tokyo and Oshima Island. This guy knows exactly where this is going.
Yeah.
He's like, fam, I respect you, but you don't got this.
He's
Or
being respectfully disrespectful.
Siege says, now, that was terrible. It wasn't thick enough. Lol. Shame for display. Or says, when people say technically in these situations, I imagine the dude saying aliens. Alright, let's continue.
I have to admit, your idea is pretty slick, Professor. To kill and bury Godzilla with one volcanic eruption.
But will it kill Godzilla? He thrived on the intense radiation from the nuclear plant at Ihama. Why should molten lava affect him any differently? Anyway, my plan is not to kill Godzilla. I just want to return him to the Earth, and hopefully send him back into peaceful hibernation. At this point, it is the only hope I can see for our world. Alright. So the tanks are now shooting at him again. Good.
Attention! Godzilla is heading for the Kasumi Gaiseki area. Residents of Nagatacho, Akasaka, and Ayama, and all outlying areas should evacuate as quickly as possible.
Eee! Ah!
Jesus fucking Christ, have you seen that dude's face at the bottom right of the ah?
Yeah.
Fucking zzz, zzz, zzz. Professor, I just heard the news. Godzilla is heading this way. We've got to get out while we still can.
Click, click. The professor and I can't leave until we've finished making the ultrasonic tape. Without the tape, we can't lure Godzilla anywhere.
There's no time, Noako. We've got to go now.
I said I'm staying.
But Naoko...
Go on, save yourself. Goro, I'm staying to help the professor. The great city falls silent. No hum of the traffic from the streets, no chatter of excited voices from the shops and restaurants. In the subway tunnels below Tokyo, citizens huddle together, barely daring to breathe. Every ear alert for the next report from the living storm that has invaded their city. But a dozen stories above street level. Dum 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 dum. Oh yeah, this dude.
Looks a little eccentric.
He is. DDT dum. All right, you want to voice this character or?
I think you should voice this character because you know how eccentric they are.
I don't know how to do their voice proper. Let's try. This is great. Everyone's gone and I've got this spread to myself. Welcome, Godzilla. I love you. Huh?
I love him already.
Yep.
He's here.
Run for your lives.
Remain calm. Do not, repeat, do not leave the safety of the subway tunnels.
Out
Out of the way. Move it. Haven't you finished yet?
Almost. Just another few minutes. We're locked onto the Russian missile. 2 seconds. Beep, beep. The A-beam is away. However, keep in mind that they have only a 50-50 chance of intercepting the Russian missile. Blam, boom. Idiot! How can you miss a target that size? Fire again! This dude is throwing some serious shade at the tanker.
That tanker is embarrassed. Look at his face. He's frowning and he's rubbing his hand behind his head. It's like Godzilla's right fucking in front of him and he's like, no, shucks, I don't know.
Blam! Haven't they launched the Super X yet? If they wait any longer, there won't be anything left of Tokyo to save.
Prime Minister, we've just received word. The Super X was launched 2 minutes ago.
It's about time. Now we'll finish Godzilla.
Professor! That was the Prime Minister's office. The Defense Forces is going to bombard Godzilla with a cadmium solution. They say that cadmium suppresses nuclear reactions. That should sap Godzilla's strength, maybe even kill him.
If Godzilla were simply a nuclear reactor, such a plan might work. But Godzilla is a living creature. I still believe in my plan is our only hope. Please, can't you leave us alone so we can finish our work?
But Godzilla is already here. If we don't evacuate now, we'll all be killed.
Yeah, what's that? A flying saucer? To be fair, considering the history of the Godzilla series, that is a valid question to ask.
Yeah.
Although considering this is also the Heisei era and the first of those films, this would actually be the first time anything like that's been seen by these people. But it wouldn't be the last.
Do you want to voice the pilot?
All right, let's go ahead.
All right, Godzilla. Now that you'll... Actually, no. All right, Godzilla. Now you'll see what it's like to fight someone who can strike back. Move in. I want him to know we're gunning for him. Ha! You'll have to do better than that, you big ugly lizard. Our hull is titanium alloy and the circuitry is all platinum. Your flame is useless. Now it's our turn.
Ready when you are, sir.
Launch the flare. He's opening his mouth.
Cadmium missile locked on target. Pew, pew.
Fire! Put it right down that bastard's throat.
Got him!
Fire again. And again. Pour it on. We've got him reeling.
Alright, 3 direct hits.
Okay. Godzilla. Let's see how you do with a belly full of cadmium.
Ronk. Look! They did it!
We did it. We killed the Godzilla. This is the captain of the Super X reporting to Defense Force Emergency Headquarters. The Super X has performed just as we've expected. The cadmium missiles have killed Godzilla.
They did it! What a relief!
What a relief!
Prime Minister, the Russian missile has just entered the stratosphere. The U.S. missile is on an intercept course, but it's going to be too close to call. And that's where the comic itself ends for the time being. Warning, comic fans beware. Between the panels... Between the Panels by Steve Dewin and Mike Richardson is a dangerous book, a seductive, irresistible trap laid for comic readers. You have my interest. To open this book is to risk being suckered into hours of reading about creators that you may... Oh, okay. Alright, well... Okay, so it's an advertisement for just talking about the lives of comic book creators and whatnot. Okay. That might be interesting, potentially, for some of future videos or something, if I decide to cover more comic books. Interesting. Or it says that tank crew is the perfect example of everyone rolls a 1 at some point. Flame is also radioactive as fuck. In reality, you guys should have been cooked, or at least have more super cancer than Deadpool. Ah, with all the good comics, half an hour. Not like the 2 hours we spend with shit, usually going in tangents, talking politics, or just shitting on the comic itself. Yeah, we did go on a couple of tangents with this comic, but it still only took us 30 minutes to get through.
Yeah. Damn it. Well, the actual good comics are short. Or the Star Wars comics takes hours, fuck's sake.
Or it says he wants to return him to the Earth, to the Hollow Earth. Yeah, that is a parallel, alright. Alright, let's see what else we got here. Want to read another issue?
Not sure if I can, to be honest.
Okay, so I guess we can call it here. But yeah, that is definitely a bit of a cliffhanger to end on, at least if you're not familiar with the movies.
What would you recommend as, like, someone who wants to get into the old-ass Godzilla films? Like, what's the best era, in your opinion?
Well, that's the thing. It depends on what you want from Godzilla films. If you want a more... Okay, so when it comes... Okay, so here's one that I will say is an easy recommendation, the very first movie. Regardless of what era that you want to go into, the very first movie is a must-watch.
As in the very first OG black and white film?
Yes, because for one, all of the old Godzilla series, the Showa, Heisei, and Millennium series,
Don't they stem from that as the beginning?
exactly,
Yes.
which is kind of a big deal. It also establishes it's also a very good, well-made Godzilla film in its own right. There have been the newest one, minus once. Okay, not technically the newest one, but the newest Japanese Godzilla film is really good, I will admit, and is probably one of the only ones I can think of that truly rivals the original as far as how good it is. But yeah, the very first one is definitely a must-watch if you're a Godzilla fan.
Which era is it that has Biolante?
That would be the Heisei era. In fact, it would be the film that comes right after the plot of this film is done.
Yeah.
It's also one of my favorite movies to do riffs on when it comes to Godzilla films. Because I love the movie, but it's also a really, really fun movie to make fun of.
Why is the plot and action just bad, or is it just goofy?
Okay, so the action is not bad. In fact, it is good. But there are some moments. There are moments that are just really easy meme material, like the bit where Godzilla fights a Japanese schoolgirl with psychic powers.
Wait a minute, that happened to the Biolante film?
Yes,
Aww.
it goes about as well as you might expect, though. So don't worry about that. There's also the overall plot itself about. Well, how familiar are you with the Biolante film?
I don't know a lot about Biolante. The only thing I know is that Biolante was made from a flower or a rose, isn't it? Something about a dead wife of like a scientist or some shit, or like a dead daughter.
Yeah, okay, so it's the dead daughter, the spirit of the dead daughter, I guess, got reborn or whatever into the flower. And the scientist, wishing to keep his daughter alive, mixes, or the flower that he thinks has the daughter's spirit alive, mixes the flower cells with Godzilla cells, creating Biolante.
Weird.
The whole plot of the film is about using the Godzilla cells that they found at the end of 85, or found basically due to the events of 84, to basically do all kinds of technological advancements with them. You have a Middle Eastern terrorist group that's after the cells so they can grow crops in the desert. That's actually their big plan. Then you have an American terrorist group that wants to use them to create weapons that can defeat nuclear weapons.
Yeah, because I first heard about, well, I mean, obviously, pretty much with most Godzilla stuff. I heard about BYRNE, or I saw BYRNE through remember the old PlayStation 2 GameCube games, Godzilla Destroy All Monsters?
Mm-hmm.
That series again. Yeah, when I first saw BYRNE, I was like, holy shit, that is cool.
BYRNE is a cool monster, although you also have to remember the monster has multiple forms.
Yeah. Yeah, I like, the obvious, the most Godzilla looking one with all the tentacles and stuff and like the big sharp teeth mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you've got a donation.
Huh?
You've got a donation.
Yep, yes I do. Let me read it. Stephen Nizek says, for $2, Toho Godzilla wishes it was 1998 Godzilla. Where best to provide my thoughts? All right. Technically, the 1998 Godzilla film is a Godzilla film, but only because Toho later bought the rights, turning that Godzilla into Zilla just so they could destroy it in Godzilla Final Wars.
This has been another official Ace, actually moment. Toho Godzilla wishes it was 1998 Godzilla, but Toho Godzilla's actually good.
Yes.
And
I'm
not
pretty sure I'm pretty sure he's making a shit post here.
Yeah, I thought so.
But that's officially speaking, Godzilla 98 is in fact an official Toho monster.
What did you see, old man? Gojira.
Ura says Violante was made from DNA, a spirit, and other bullshit because Godzilla goes to hell in one comic, so the afterlife does exist here. See, just laughing. Wait, Godzilla went to hell in one of the comics? I now have to see this.
Holy shit, he does. And the artwork is actually really fucking good. Good lord.
Okay, I'm going to have to see this. Does he meet up with Jason Voorhees in there or something?
Oh god, I wish.
I know there's also the okay. This is an interesting comic already. And I am somewhat curious. So yeah, that's probably something I'm gonna have to read at some point. Ura says, yes, it is. Yes, it is literally called Godzilla Goes to Hell. Alright, so I will say this, though. This particular comic is definitely good. And okay, so to answer your question, because I have deviated a fair bit, though. So, if you want a more campy, fun, if you like the campier style of Godzilla, as in the old films, then the one to get into that does it well. Godzilla vs. The Thing is considered a fan favorite. Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster is another really good one for that. But I know some. But yeah, that's back when. But both those still take place when Godzilla is more of a villain, anti-hero in the setting. So make of that what you will. But then once you get to the Heisei films, well, if we're going to talk about must-watch or getting started, that's another question there. If we're talking about getting started, then in the case of the Heisei films, I'd say you kind of have to start with one after you go through the original Godzilla would be Godzilla 1984 or 85. Either version will really work. And then you go through all of those because they have a certain level of continuity. So the events of the first one kind of lean into the events of the later ones. So, for example, the events in, say, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2 lead into Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, which itself also leads into Godzilla vs. Destroy a little bit. So there's that. And then when you talk about the Millennium's films, really just pick any one of... Well, there's not really any particularly bad Millennium films from my experience, so... none of them are really linked together except for Godzilla against Mechagodzilla and Tokyo SOS are linked. So I would suggest watching Godzilla against Mechagodzilla before Tokyo SOS. But yeah, of those, really, most of them are definitely within the territory of worth watching at least once. A lot of people like GMK. GMK is a weird one. Because it's, for one thing, the character designs for the monsters are very, very different from what we see in a lot of the other Millennium films, as well, in general, but I digress. Stefan Paszki says Godzilla vs. Freddy Krueger. I don't know how Freddy Krueger would kill Godzilla, even if he was dreaming, though. That's the thing. And that's kind of a big problem for Freddy Krueger to fight him, because there have been Godzilla films where Godzilla's been left as been reduced to just a beating heart, and he has still come back. So
Jesus fucking Christ! It sounds like he's got like Wolverine's healing factor.
Yeah. Yeah, Godzilla basically, a couple of the films have established in the Millennium lore that he does have super healing, basically. Like, that's part of the plot of Godzilla 2000. GMK establishes it pretty thoroughly. Come to think of it, even some of the later films, like -1, has covered that pretty extensively, too. But anyways, so this comic is definitely worth a read, and I am looking forward to seeing more of it. I am, however, going to let Nathan go because it sounds like he needs to do something or whatever, so I think it's a good time to go ahead and call the stream. I hope you have enjoyed watching the stream as much as we've both enjoyed reading it. And Nathan, it's been a pleasure having you on.
It's been a pleasure coming back on. Thank you for inviting me. I always do love looking at the actual good stuff every now and again, apart from the fucking Star Wars shit.
Yeah. And I'm glad to have you back on again as well. And so, yeah, I think we're at a good point to go ahead and call it. So, yeah, this has been Ace.
This has been Nathan X2000.
And we both hope to see you all again soon. Until then, take care. Ace out.